Well, good evening. See that little endorsement there? That's me. Now, normally what happens when anybody's asked to endorse a book, you just ask to read the first chapter. That's all that's ever happens. And if you like the first chapter and you know the person, you kind of endorse it. Or if you don't like the first chapter, you don't know the person, you don't. Now, when Miti asked me to endorse the book, I didn't have time to read the first chapter. But I still endorsed it because I'd just done a perfect pitch with them. All I knew was the pitch. And I knew from the pitch the book would be great. Now, shockingly, I've now read the whole book. That is the very first book I've endorsed I've ever read. All the way through. And the book is about the power of words. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the power of words, and I'm going to start right at the top with a master of using words to change the world, which is perhaps the top level of aspiration. So listen to this. We enter into a covenant that we shall build a society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation. So no bloody revenge from the blacks on the whites, though. A rainbow nation instead, changing history just in one sentence. Now that's kind of aspirational, but if you want to get the power of words at a more personal level, just think about any communication you have with a loved one, any communication. It's really easy to feel happy, joyful, or sad, upset, and hurt. We've all experienced that, and actually we're all expert at generating those emotions in people we love. Sometimes deliberately, sometimes accidentally, just cross wires. And then if I listen to most corporate communication, from the executive to the employees, from the company to its customers, from employees to its customers, most of the time it leaves me frustrated, angry, and ultimately defeated. I can't beat them, they just grind you down. And their communication is one variation or another of we're committed to the highest level of standards for our customers. When clearly they're not. And clearly they're just saying that to get you off their back. Now, can that be deliberate, I ask myself? If generating emotions is deliberate or accidental, can the corporate world really deliberately try and make us all frustrated, angry, and defeated? Is that deliberate? I think actually it sort of is not. But it's not totally accidental either, because I think the business world has got frightened of the power of words. It's got frightened of the power of words to liberate the human spirit. Because if the human spirit's liberated, it is against our compliance policy. We can't have any of that here. So what we get instead from corporations are words that are dead. Devoid of emotion, devoid of meaning, devoid of any intention, devoid of any energy. So what we end up doing in our businesses, the big businesses, is to suppress human spirit, not liberate it. And yet, today, in this war, as the Prime Minister has declared, on the deficit, and the war, the competitive war against Asia and South America that we can't afford to lose, we better not deaden the human spirit in our businesses. We really better liberate it, because then we get the best of it. We get cooperation and creativity, we get energy and commitment, instead of turf wars and blind spots and conflict. So it's really important for all of us that we do actually liberate the human spirit. And if you do that, you can take a lot of risks with your communication, because if the real crunch points come when something happens that isn't in the rules, and somebody in the organisation has to communicate off the top of their head, make it up as they go along. And if you've got the right environment, they'll say something that works. And I'll give you one example of that. So at Egg, we were at Egg, and I was actually Saturday morning, 12 o'clock, and I was having a few drinks in a party at a very smart residence with some very smart, scarily influential people. And somebody said, "Egg's on the radio!" I said, "Is it? What's going on?" So everybody gathers around the radio. And it's Moneybox. No friends of Egg. And I knew what had happened, I just didn't know it had made Moneybox. The previous week we'd launched a bond with a very good rate of interest, and we'd advertised it, and accidentally we put the wrong product on the website. And we're being accused of bait and switch. Bait and switches, practicing bait. So Moneybox was having a go at it. I thought we got rid of that. And they said, we've got Andy Thompson from A. At which point I did literally drop my glass of wine. Andy Thompson is the last person you would put on the radio. Andy Thompson's a bluff Yorkshireman who comes to work, looks like a farmer, and he sounds like a farmer. And communication skills are not on his CV. So I was at that point wanting to kill my PR agent. Put him up there. And he was being attacked. This is obviously a ploy. You do it just to get the business, or I could put it right now, we wouldn't have done it unless we'd have made a fuss, blah, 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 blah. And there's a big pause. I thought, God, he won't even say anything. That's probably better. He said, it was just a bloody glorious cock-up. That's all it was. It wasn't deliberate. I told our IT guys they'd fuck it up if they didn't sort themselves out. They did. And the guy said, oh, thank you. And I thought, oh, no. And everybody's kind of looking at me and said, are you one of yours? I said, so I get into the office the next day and I'm halfway through killing the PR director. And we get a call from the BBC saying we've had a lot of letters about that. I said, I'm sorry about that, He's never had media training and he didn't mean to swear on the air. And we got 100 letters saying how refreshing it was. How wonderful it was. So you can get away with it if you. And Andy was fully liberated. Let it all out on the radio. You can actually change the world through business. You can actually change the world in what you say through business. When Bill Gates said he was going to put a PC in every home and on every desk, he changed the world fundamentally. Everything that's happened since was dependent and a consequence on that. Nothing else would have happened without it. And he just kept saying that until it was true. And when Tim Berners-Lee said he would connect all the world's information together, that was the next piece in the jigsaw, and he kept saying that until it was true. You can change the world with your words. And if you really want to get more examples of how dead words, devoid of emotion and anything else, kill organisations and kill people, and how to not do that, but to use words laced with emotion and meaning and passion, there's nothing better you can do than to read the book. Thank you very much.